Hey guys, Furum here. Recently, I finally won the Chevrolet Impala. I got the final few blueprint cards I needed for it through the Assembly Cup, and here is my best run on that cup right now before we get to the multiplayer. This was a very difficult cup because the nitro management in it was extremely important. You needed to get that barrel roll at the beginning, so you could triple tap at the very beginning so that you wouldn't run out of nitro later on. Because if you triple tapped and didn't barrel roll, you'd run out of nitro quickly, and yeah, you pretty much never triple tap in this race except at the very beginning. And you can never hit the side either, or else you will run out of nitro and not get perfect runs. Needless to say, this took quite a few tries for me, and here you had to get a bunch of barrel rolls, or else you wouldn't have full nitro through this section, in which you had to get another perfect run. Since I've never been very good at getting top positions in events, like I struggle to get top 500 a lot of the time, I've watched videos of the events and then tried them, and I try to do what they do, and watch when they get perfect runs, and watch exactly like when they perfect nitro and stuff, which has helped me a lot. Even so, trying to directly match what some of the really pro people do, I have yet to get much within a second of their times. And I don't know why, but I have been able to get more top 500s, which is good because they usually give 100 to 125 tokens for top 500. So I'm glad about that, and hopefully you will see more event videos from me in the future. But don't worry, I will not stop the multiplayer videos. Those, I think, are some of my favorite ones to make, and I believe probably some of the most fun to watch. So, in this Impala Cup, I got 119,860, the only time I ever got below 120. So, at the end of the event, claimed it, and got my 125 tokens for top 500, and the final blueprint cards. I only needed 3 more, but I got 7 boxes. I had 11 out of 14, and so this completed it for me. And although this car isn't that great, I decided that I would do a multiplayer video out of it because it's an American classic, and I've not seen too many other people actually try it in multiplayer. So here I am assembling it, and then 2 hours later, the assembly finally completed, and no ads came up in the middle of this one. Because that's very annoying when ads come up right in the middle of assembly when you're trying to get a video of it. So yeah, so 1042 is my rank for multiplayer now, 0303 and 0042. This may seem really weird, but I ran out of parts, and it's mostly a nitro-reliant car, but since it has terrible nitro efficiency, I didn't want to do all nitro, so yeah, that's the weird tuning. So this guy here, I start up a little bit faster, I think, than the Range Rover, but not nearly as fast as that Servolt up there, which I am actually faster than. No, this car is not so terrible that it can't even beat Servolts. It could beat those. So that car way up there is the Porsche 959, which, as we all know, is the new king of multiplayer around this rank. It starts up fast, has amazing speed, and its only downfall is its nitro reliancy, but it makes up for that by having great nitro efficiency. Unlike this car, which has slow acceleration, terrible drifting and handling, slow speed, and terrible nitro efficiency. Yeah. And as you can see, that Range Rover that I knocked down at the beginning is coming up extremely quickly behind me because I keep running out of nitro and I slow down by like 50 miles per hour when that happens. They pretty much took this car from being the most powerful car in the game to be one of not the worst cars, but like one of the least fun cars and least good to drivable cars. And yep, that Range Rover knocked me down, and somehow he wrecked too. Not exactly sure how that happened. But he had nitro and I didn't, so he's getting ahead, and that Servolt is catching up behind me. You know a car isn't good when the Servolts catch up to you. In this car, if you do decide to use it for some reason, always try to do as many flat spins and stuff as you can to fill up that quickly depleting nitro bar. As you can see, it goes 202 miles per hour at best at this rank of 1042. It doesn't even reach that very often. Usually it just shows 201. In comparison, a 959 at this rank can go 216 or 217, and a Range Rover can go around 215, I'd like to say, something like that. I actually max pro'd my Range Rover a while back, so that is why there has been no Range Rover multiplayer videos. Sorry about that, but I mistuned it early on, and it was just terrible, so I just max pro'd it, and it's been useful in some events. So, unboosted Range Rover beat me, but he was a lot higher. 120 higher. Yes, matchmaking is bad, and that 959, of course, won. So that was the first race I played in this car in multiplayer. Now here is the second race, which is quite a different story. I'm getting ahead at the beginning somehow, and the other cars are falling away quite fast. So This car is very interesting in the fact that it always loses to pros, but it always beats noobs. This is one of those races where I got into a room with people that aren't driving very good cars, and so I'm getting ahead. Even though this car isn't necessarily good, it can still beat other cars sometimes if they're even worse, which those cars are. If you go up right here as high as you can get some airtime and that way get more nitro, which as you've seen, this car really needs. It even seems slow when the clip has been sped up 3 times. You probably only thought it was sped up twice. No, 3 times. I am going to make another video of this car tuned higher, but this is just my first rank test of multiplayer in this car. It will lose to Range Rovers and 959s and probably Desirs at pretty much any rank. However, if you do multiplayer tune it, like with top speed and nitro, it can do decently well against the beginner cars that you may find around this level. So, I don't know what happened up here. There's some Urus that kept bumping into the wall and wrecking, and I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. So around this corner I found, and I've seen this quite a lot, fall off to the left, so you get a speed boost, go up this barrel roll to get some more nitro, get another speed boost when you land, and it's actually faster than just going up above, which is interesting, mainly because of the airtime, even though it is technically a longer route. So we finished first in this one, quite far ahead of the others, and they were just cars like the Urus, which, by the way, is one of the worst multiplayer cars in the game, and matchmaking, unlike last game, was actually quite good. Cars at this rank, especially this one it seems, seem to flip-flop between good and bad matchmaking rather quickly, as we can see in here, as there is a Cobra and a 959 that actually end up being both quite higher than me, that just kind of shoot ahead at the beginning, and I never see them again for the rest of the race. Oh yes, an extra tank is recommended for cars like this one that have bad nitro efficiency. Even with that, I would not triple tap at the beginning because it just eats nitro. I really like the looks of this car though, especially in the deep purple, grapish kind of color that I have it in now. It looks really nice, and I kind of am wishing that Gameloft kept it to be the high-powered machine that the SLK turned out to be, instead of this. But interesting fact, it actually is only 5 miles per hour slower than the Mazda RX-8 in D-Class would max pro'd, and it's actually faster than the Donkervoort and Alfa Romeo 4C at a lower rank. So yeah, I mean, it's not all bad. If you max pro it, it will probably do decently well in D-Class cups, but if you do that, be sure to run extra tanked. I will probably max pro this car because, as you can see, it doesn't really do all that great in multiplayer, and I believe it gives some good rewards in its mastery. And confirming more what I've said earlier, the beginner car is way behind, and the 2 pro cars are way ahead. You kind of get caught in the middle with this car, and it seems like no one else is in the race when they're either way ahead or way behind. That's just kind of what happens in this car. So, that Shelby Cobra was 1153, 111 above me, and the Porsche was higher as well. So since the nitro efficiency is so bad on this car, I decided to run extra tanks in this race and see what happened. So here we can see mainly how the Impala does drifting around Sector 8, because as we know, that last turn can be a real killer on a lot of cars. So I was interested to see how this car would do on it, and we will see in this race. Overall, I would not recommend this car for any kind of use in multiplayer unless you are in like low challenger league, and then yes, you can gain some points with it because you'll mainly come across rooms like this with cars like Camaro GS and Lamborghini Urus and DS Servolt and things like that. But this car will probably not ever be able to take you past 1400 rating, most likely, so best to max pro it, possibly use it in events if you have no better other D-Class car, and get the rewards from its mastery, because it is actually quite inexpensive to upgrade and also quite easy to pro out because it only requires a few mid-techs, not too many of each class part, and a common engine. By the way, if you're trying to save up of a certain kind of pro card, keep some of them in your inventory and Gameloft will not see that you need them and will be more likely to give you more. Yes, Gameloft is greedy. So here you can see me taking around the corner. The car slows down to a crawl almost, but it actually takes it quite well. I kind of hope Gameloft makes more technical and twisty tracks, like Sector 8, for example, and Dubai, San Diego Harbor, and things like that, so that cars like F1 cars will have a better chance against Camaros, because Camaros can beat, say, MP4-8s on pretty much any track, and homages can beat MP4-25s on pretty much any track. And I kind of like to see it be a little bit more even. And it's not like whatever car you pick, you will guaranteed win. Unless you're in the Vulcan. Vulcan is just amazing, and yeah, no track can stop it. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. What kinds of tracks do you want Gameloft to add next? Because with all the Porsches having come out in the Porsche update, there will be another update coming along soon, and I'm hoping they'll add another track. I have no idea what it is. We've had no information on that yet, but I think if they do, it will be cool. And also, it's rumored that there will be motorcycles in the update too. Not sure if that is true either. Again, many rumors go around that are not necessarily correct. So the reason the Impala won in this race is because it came up against more beginner cars. So thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed and would like to see me make more Asphalt 8 videos, and I will see you later. Goodbye!